Hi, and welcome to one more of our special events from All Barcelona chapter. Here from Spain, there from Michigan, from New Jersey, and for all that chapters, more than 1,000, that All Ladies League, our global movement, hold. And what we are. I know that many of you are thinking, what is that about united women and empowerment through united women? That is our goal. And that's what we learned from our founder and leader, Dr. Harbin Arora, based in India. She 20 years ago, she founded this beautiful platform that allow us to do what we are doing, special events. But don't think that I say special just because I am passionate about All Ladies League, that I am, but it's also special because of the way we work. And we work voluntary, we work on solidarity and empathy, and we say always zero negativity, flexibility, and spontaneous. We are all professionals, expertise in different fields, but when we came here in All Ladies League, we have just a chat of conversation, just that. We are women, we are friends, and we are flexible. And that's why we invite you all to follow us and to feel part of it. Today, we have a special guest, very special guest, and I will let you surprise you by their presence and their words. And you will be surprised, I could guarantee you that. With domestic violence awareness, we know that it's a terrible disease of our societies. Well, we can avoid to talk about it from a very special angle that is mind, soul, and body. Today, we are going to have 3 experts that have worked on that field from mental health, from spirit as a spiritual leader, and also to work their body. We know we are zero, as I say, zero negativity, but we need to deliver positive message to that situation. And that's why we call it break the wall, but not in an aggressive way, just specifically resilient, strong, in harmony. Because when you are in harmony, everything is positive, and you break the wall slowly, but self-confident that you have a platform as ourselves, a global networking that will support you. So now I will pass the word to Anita. Please, Anita, you will be emotional. You will get emotionally because Anita is a spiritual leader. I will read her bio later, but now just listen to her. Anita, please.
On average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner. The image. It starts out as the wonder of a garden lovely, with all hope flowers grow and bloom. The camouflage, feelings of security, the perfect unity, solidarity, a dream come true. Then energy shifts, undefinable wind, reality sets in. Imagine, if you will, bam, first blow from the love of her life. What happened? Her thought dizzy with shock and humiliation, the disbelief. Oh my gosh, how can this be? He said he cherished me. Her mind racing, reflecting on yesterday. She thinks, how? What? When? What did I do yesterday that I deserve this today? Now, outside, she hears the utterance of a few. She can leave if she wanted to. Now, why does she stay? They say. So sad. It must not be that bad. 1 in 4 women experience physical violence by an intimate partner. Alas, the first blow is not to be the last. This time a kick, like a tsunami rumbling in the nucleus of her core. This one knocks her to the floor. The flaming mountain erupting through the fountain of her blood-stained, swollen lips. This time with it comes the taste of bitterness. Now, there is absolute fear here. And if you look closely in her eyes, we see the question she asked at least a dozen times. Do I stay under a familiar roof to clothe and feed my kids? You see, the reason why she stays is to keep them safe and warm. 1 in 15 children witness domestic violence in the home. But you know what? Confused and abused, my sister is going to do what she has to. Now, 1 in 10 men experience physical violence by an intimate partner. Okay, now what does he do? Now, does he leave with misgivings to tread a world seemingly too refused and think, how in the world could he be domestically abused? Now, is it possible that even disaster can become a comfort zone? Perhaps fear is more gripping when stepping out into the unknown. Domestic violence is the third leading cause of homelessness. Now, it's a spiritual warfare. Don't get it twisted. It's a spiritual warfare. Insecurity not yet identified. Imitation hides the truth of cowardice. It's a blend of antipathy and violence. Doubt commingling with the sweat, the musk of masculine powerless, and is being taken out on. She is raw. She is a survivor, a prisoner of war. A war zone where retreating is out in the open, nowhere to escape within the walls constructed with hostility, showing signs of brutality. Where hatred is disguised as love, and with every black eye, she having to identify, giving an explanation that'll satisfy those on the outside because she survives being a prisoner of war. How? She arms herself with the wounds and bleeds as he strikes out at her with the weapon that he bleeds. And during the unconscionable, this sister is stronger than she thinks. The gun points to her temple, and there is a silent plea within her temple. And this time, she breathes. Over half of domestic violent homicides are committed with guns. The knife draws from her from the liquid of life, and each pound of flesh she removed, she survives. Each pound from worry she loses, she survives. 19% of domestic violence involves a weapon. Now, on the outside, everything looks so pretty, though, but oh, the makeup. The layers of makeup she uses to hide being a prisoner of war. Now, what happened? What happened? What happened to the garden lovely, which each slap in her face survives, she does. Each bruise to her body gone and come, she survives because each bruise to her heart large enough to cup the vast ocean of water. She is a survivor. Each name she calls, emotionally she survives. Each time she hears you walk out that door, I will mess you up. Physiologically, she survives. And the word spoken, if you ever try to leave me, I'll find you. I'll find you and I'll kill you. Psychologically, she survives. Enough. Her spirit whispers to her soul, and her soul whispers to her spirit, and her heart whispers to her mind, going to that place up high. Going to that place up high, she begins to hear, I am a survivor. I am a survivor. Then energy shifts. This time, the final will win. Truth, you see, truth realization sets in. Now imagine, if you will, a chokehold. Her breath wafts across the enemy's face, eye to eye, soul to soul. A force inside her guides her to vocalize, you will not kill my spirit. You will not kill my spirit. In an instant, her presence reveals just how brave she is. Layers to his soul she peels, discovering the concealing of an Achilles heel. A psyche of destruction and defeat. Her spirit has great tenacity. She knows now. She knows now it's time to leave, one way or the other. And she prays that if he preys upon her, does she fight? Does she fight to the end? And if need be, to save her life, will she take his? She is remarkable. She is amazing. She is a wonder. She is raw. She is out of the zone of war. A prisoner no more. She looks up to the heavens. A prisoner no more. She looks down from the heavens. A prisoner no more. Beloved is she. These words spoken for the remarkable, amazing wonder who survives. These words spoken for the remarkable, amazing wonder who lost her life because of this violent zone of war. This is the voice of the remarkable, amazing wonder. This is the voice of Patricia Louise Johnson. This is the voice of Patricia Louise Ingram. This is the voice of Sylvia Colon. This is the voice for every single remarkable, amazing wonder who survived this domestic violence of war. Break this wall. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. I'm sure all the people are sharing this emotion with you. And despite all we have heard, all the drama, it's a war that she wins because she break the wall. So when you break the wall, you're a survivor, so you are stronger. And this is our message, that you can do it. So that is to learn from each other. That's what we are here, to learn from each other, to exchange, to connect, because anyone can kill your spirit, as you say, and your soul. I told you all that Anita is amazing. You know that, so you were prepared for that. And she is a spiritual leader, and now you know that what I mean by that. I will thank you, Anita, for these words. I was not surprised because I always leave this with you, and I'm sure there are many women out there from all the parts of the world, because this is a virtual platform, that are not only sharing but feeling that solidarity of saying, she's telling us the same that I'm feeling. So, you know, the empathy that they need from a virtual, discrete world that they need. Also for the families, also for the friends that don't know how to do it. Where is the way out? And here we are for that, to contribute our small contribution, humble contribution to this terrible drama that our societies are in. I will present Anita. Maria, you would like this is a conversation, so you would like to say anything, Maria, or go ahead.
I was very touched by Anita's poem, and how the way she elevated the words and experience of women that have experienced domestic violence. And it was a work of art, but through poetry, I know she's attempting to heal us and heal any woman that is listening to this presentation, and who will hear and who and find some healing in your words. Thank you, Dr. Anita Caprice. Thank you.
Thank you, my beautiful sister.
Maria say healing, the magic word to break the wall, healing, because sometimes it's not the resources, it's not about resources, it's just mental resources that don't let the people move forward. They have this fear that they create in their mind. I say, I cannot get out from here. But you can. So healing inside this work. I always like to refer to loneliness. This loneliness process that you do, totally alone, but they say, I can do it, why not? And you move forward. No, that's the idea. Anita, I cannot read the whole bio of our beloved Anita, but some just for you to know, Anita is a spiritual leader, and in relation to domestic violence, she said the business of domestic violence is the global business of all.
Absolutely.
And also the All Ladies League.
Yeah.
You know? Yes. So Anita is specialized on wellness consultant, metaphysical teacher, international spoken word. You already know that. You have seen that. A poet, and well, it's I cannot read everything. Doctorate in metaphysical science, aromatherapy, alchemy, herbalism, meditation practitioner, teachers, and more. So you can visit her profile, please. And Anita, give us the gift of your word, of your magic to us, please.
Oh, bless God. Thank you so much. I'm just so honored to be here. I really am, and to be part of this beautiful, worthy, powerful social cause. I mean, it's amazing how situations can be created and then be eliminated, because, we keep in mind that, energy is everything. And if we keep in mind with domestic violence, with anything, we know that energy, we may not can create it, we may not can destroy it, but Lord have mercy, we can transform it. Am I right, you guys? We can transform the energy, like in situations, transforming that and now even with more so with the sense of having to remain inside the home, or having to limit our availability. Now is a time that we must begin to go within, when we talk about the energy, if we're in a situation, now is the time to, we may not be able to go outside per se, but we can go within. We can go within and create and see the world that we want to create. And eventually, as long as the more we go within to create and see what we want, the more that energy is going to become a physical manifestation. So sometimes if we may find ourselves kind of in a situation that it's difficult to get out of, we have limited resources, we have a vast load of resource right up in here, and right in here, and can't nobody take that, can't nobody go inside our mind to see what we're thinking about. So when I'm thinking me and my babies on the beach and having fun and everything out of this thing, don't nobody see what I'm doing. Can't nobody see what I'm thinking. And while I know that I'm doing this, I know that the power of the universe is working with me. And I know eventually, with ease and joy, and ladies always say with ease and joy, that you get out of this situation, because with ease and joy, that's what's going to happen eventually. And that's what I have to say, tap into yourself and tap into that energy, because it's gonna get you out of there. And I'm not speaking from no book that I'm talking about. I'm not speaking from something that someone told me. I'm speaking from, I know what I know.
Yeah. Tap into yourself. The message, the remarkable message that Anita is leaving to us.
Yeah.
So, and tap into your inner peace, and that is soul. That's why I say soul, mind, and body. We are going to our panelists. So Anita is the soul of this panel, and now we go to Maria. That is our mind. What it means to keep that mental health. I will make an introduction of Maria that you already know her, but Maria is a learning disability specialist consultant. She's an educator. She's a specialist on bipolar disorder. She was appointed as editorial board member of the International Journal of Psychiatry Research and Education and Research Associated for the Center for Building Resilient Communities of New Jersey. And more, because all our beautiful souls are experts, are very important experts, despite you can see in this relaxed atmosphere. They are very, very important on their fields. Maria say, in relation to domestic violence, say abusive behavior from intimate partners and mental illnesses are separated. The victim can develop a mental condition within an abusive relationship. I would say victim from survivor, because we are in war. As Anita say, they are prisoners of war and they're survivors. So from a resilient perspective, the survivor can develop a mental condition within an abusive relationship. Maria, you leave us with a very important question, because of that terrible situation, stressful situation, dramatic situation. The most impact is not just physically, it's also psychologically, it's also emotional. So please, Maria, go ahead and help us and others feel.
Now we are calling domestic violence as intimate partner violence, because as Dr. Caprice mentioned, sometimes men are victims in that type of cycle, but women, the cases of women being the victims are more prevalent. And there's statistics that show that women from 15 years old on start experiencing this globally. There are cultural ideas that shape those relationships in different settings. What is important to remember is that sometimes we want to work with the victim. We have to work with the victim, which is the woman and or children in that household. It could be a friend, it could be a casual friend, and also it could be a husband. In some cultures, that abuse is allowed. And I found a report years ago of women in the Caribbean who thought that in certain circumstances, that abuse was okay. For example, if the woman was not loyal to the husband, and that doesn't allow violence either. That's not, but the training needs to come. When the abuser is violent, not only with the woman, but with other members in the family or with co-workers or with people in the community, we can say that person behavior is consistently across scenarios. But the perpetrator violence in the we have personality have to be we have to show a streamline there because he might have a narcissistic diagnosis but it's not really it's intentional. The abuse is intentional towards the most vulnerable, the woman and children. Also, we have to keep in mind that the victims of domestic violence, well, when they leave, the survivors, they come with PTSD, depression, and they also have suicide attempts while they are in the situation and after they leave because their self-esteem has been minimized later. And the children into this environment are at risk of reproducing those behaviors later on when they become adults. So the treatment, whatever professional treatment we offer to these women and their families, also have roles that those children saw that are completely dysfunctional because that's the expression of love. Because they normalize it, they think that's the expression of love, not expression of love. Being aggressive, being possessive, and being controlling or manipulative. I want to tell the viewers who are looking and the woman following this page that although you might not health or in legal expert, we as a community can buffer and can prevent these situations and be allies and advocates for victims who cannot yet speak from themselves because they are in the circle. They feel guilty. They think they have a personal problem. There's no personal problem. That's how they internalize the aggressivity. Oh, he's hitting me. What did I do wrong? He didn't do anything wrong, but that's part of the, like, I'm going to use the word that Anita, the energy that is created. And a woman trying to justify that behavior takes the blame on herself and stays in that relationship. And that's, I'm going to talk about that probably again. What can we do as allies and advocates to help a member in our communities or in our families who are experiencing this, because they are not going to seek for legal advice or health advice. This is a public health problem.
It really is.
Because they are not seeing that yet. The first person they're going to talk is a friend or a family member, and we need to know what to do to help them and not disturb them, because we are not experts and we can redirect them to the appropriate resources.
That is so interesting. You know, Maria, thank you for that. You know, when you mentioned about the behavioral and the mind thing, I was doing some research, and I did not know, or I didn't put together gaslighting paralleling with domestic violence. But there is such a thing. Is that right?
It is a micro invalidation of what the woman is thinking, and playing with or denying what her feelings, minimizing the feelings of the woman, and also that does happen. And at some point, the woman is going to start thinking that she's crazy, that she's losing her mind. But that's part of the controlling, controlling and manipulative of the aggressor. Again, the perpetrator could be. We have now different kind of different types of couples at this point. It could be, but I'm gonna use the word perpetrator. But yes, gaslighting is something that minimizes the self-esteem of the woman. So when you are in front of a woman who you know is suffering, let her know that you are there to help the woman and make them feel safe, and go at her pace, because what you want her to do at the moment is not what she's ready there yet. We don't know if she's afraid to leave because the man has threatened her, because she doesn't have financial resources, because he controls the cards and the money, or maybe he has threatened her to hurt their children, or take it at another level so she can lose it. So and she might still in what they call love, which I really think is attachment, because when we get into those unhealthy relationships, it's because we want to fill a void that we're bringing. Okay. It's an unhealthy relationship, and there's a void in us, and then and that man is not going to fill that void. The void is inside of me, and I have to fill it with myself, with my own knowledge, with my own healing, like you were saying. So that void is not in my parents, it's not in the man, it's not in my children, and then that's why those unhealthy relations perpetuate. And the thing is to tell the woman, we're here we're here to direct to and when you're ready, because we have to go at their.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Normalize, blame themselves, taking as something normal among their families, among their friends. So you see how important it is, and we go back to Anita, the individual work on rescue the spirit, and now also rescue their mind from that situation, and don't think at all that is something normal. So if you wanted to help someone, take the words of Maria that say, you just tell them that this is not normal, that you can rescue yourself from that situation and you could search for help. So thank you so much, Maria. We are going back on that. And welcome, Elena. Please, your microphone, open your microphone. And Elena is an old friend of All Ladies League. She's the body. You know, Elena, I was saying that Anita, in domestic violence awareness, Anita is the soul, and Maria is the mind, and you are the body. So we are going to address it from this spirit that you know very well of All Ladies League, and thank you for being with us and contributed so selfish, so generous as you always do, with your solidarity and empathy with all of us. Elena is a psychotherapist, a female alchemy dance therapy. She holds a postgraduate in violence, and she had worked with women that survivors from violence through the association HELA. She worked on that, on dance and body, to help other women. And I know one woman that worked with Elena, and when the session is over, she told me, Elena, leave me. She killed me, but I feel so well. So new. So Elena, you're doing a remarkable and silent work with many, many women that need you. And as you say, because the sentences that she leaves us is humanist working in collective healing. Healing, we go again with the healing. So please, Elena, give us your gift of healing through working with our body.
Thank you so much, Mar, and lovely to hear you, Maria. I actually would like to take that concept that Maria, you just spoke about, the void. And I think it's a really interesting concept I often work with my clients, with patients, women and men, actually creating a void that we can feel in our bodies. So it's kind of first we connect and see what's going on in our bodies, because the idea in body psychotherapy is, which started with Wilhelm Reich in the 60s. He was Freud's, one of his star pupils, and he realized after working with thousands of people that all emotion and thoughts have an immediate reaction in the body. So only working with the mind is not enough, because the trauma stays in the body. And of course, with women who have lived through violence, who are survivors, as I like to call it, have amazing amount of blockages in their bodies. So connecting to the bodies, learning how to connect, learning how to feel, what it feels like to breathe deeper, what it feels like, having all those tensions in the body that we may not have realized because they have been anesthetized, forgotten, cut off completely, not to feel the pain, the physical pain. And I'm not even talking about the abuse, the physical abuse, because of course there's so many different kinds of abuse, but just from, let's say, even emotional abuse, there's so much pain in the body. So often we cut off. So the idea is, through very gentle, very subtle ways, going deeper and deeper, connecting with the body, and then starting to release emotionally, mentally, with words, crying, yelling, punching, with the body as well. And at some point, creating a void. So I want to come back to that void, because often we think of emptiness or void as something terrible. And what I like to use it as is to find and create a void that is actually delicious, a fertile void, a void in ourselves where we can then, without any hurry, start to grow our own plants that we choose, our own emotions, our own thoughts, our own self-talk, our own sensations in the body. So the void is one of my definitely favorite tools. I live in Barcelona. I am actually from Finland, born in Switzerland, lived in the US, in South America, in Arabia, in lots of places, and am back in Europe after 7 years out and about. And when I lived, the last place where I lived was in Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates. And we created, with two friends of mine, wonderful, amazing women, our bubble, the first holistic center, Pilates, yoga, birth, prenatal stuff, children, children's music, you name it, dance, all sorts of things, painting, Sufi, whirling, healing, meditation. And we were just had our arms wide open to all sorts of wonderful, amazing people who came through, poetry healers and so forth. And I've always liked to work in some charitable way wherever I've lived, to give back to the community, as well as really connect not just to the people who are doing well, not to just the upper echelon of society, but also getting in touch with people who are more in need. So I've done it with people who were visually impaired in Ecuador. I did it in New York with different kind of people in actually in hospitals, and in Abu Dhabi, I heard of this idea that you could go and help do some kind of activity with runaway maids who had left their sponsors due to abuse, and who were had to go to their own embassies. So this one embassy, and I'm not going to say names because I don't want anyone to ever get into trouble, opened their doors, and it was all hush hush. So I used to take my 25 yoga mats and lug them in there, and we'd do it in the embassy grounds, but it was just this small corridor outside in under the sky, and women would come and join, and we would do some yoga. And I realized very quickly that I didn't feel that I had enough tools. I did it from my heart. I tried to bring some love, some relaxation, some mantras, healing mantras, some gentle movement and stretching into the body. And many of them were so disconnected, so blocked. They couldn't even fathom the idea to start connecting to the body, in being so afraid what would come out. And then it was time for me to leave Abu Dhabi. I came to Barcelona, and I said, this is the time. I want to go back to university. I actually want to really study this. So I found a postgrad in gender violence, and I thought, wow, this is so cool. I mean, this hasn't been available for very long. And it was with a good university called La Salle. So I went and did this postgrad, and it was really, oh, and I had a bit of my doubts. Well, Spain, how good is it going to be? And it was amazing. It was amazing because the professionals, the teachers, were actually people working in the field. So we had a lawyer come in, we had a social worker come in, we had a chief of police in violence come in, and they were our teachers. So it was kind of like I got to dive in and get all sorts of back office information firsthand from these people who were doing this labor of love. And I do say it's a labor of love, because if I don't do it with my heart, if I don't listen, if I don't accompany from my heart, it's going to really quickly go into judgment, into trying to have these women take steps that they might not be ready. That's why I loved hearing both of you said, actually all the three of you were talking about step by step and at their timing. It is not my timing. It's nobody else's timing but theirs. So when I listen and when I accompany, because I don't really even know if it's helping. At least for me, my idea is not, I'm going to help you. No, I will accompany you. I will listen to you, and I will offer whatever I can. You take it, you leave it, you do whatever works for you. And it's kind of like just adding my little grain of salt or grain of sand to their process from unconditional love. And it's funny enough, unconditional love is something that I've been working personally with my kids and in my life on for a while. And it seems to be so incredibly damn difficult, so hard. And interestingly enough, it seems to be work seems to be a place where I can really kind of flow with that unconditional love. I don't know what it is exactly, but maybe it's seeing these women's vulnerability and the pain and the incredibly challenging conditions, situations, and experiences where I kind of just say, whoa, I have no plan. I'm just here for you, and let's breathe, let's move. And sometimes it's more gentle, sometimes it's more strong, connecting also to their own power, right? To their hara, which is the space underneath our navel where the instinct, the gut feeling, the wisdom, and the place of having the right to live. And not just having the right to live, but having the right to live with love, with respect, with dignity, creating the kind of life that I want for myself. So that's kind of what I do. I love dance, I love music, so, and of course yoga and all of that kind of good stuff. And I love massage. So I kind of put all those things together, and from there bring my medicine. And yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it. And you think it's so simple. You have said so wonderful and in-depth things that will help so many women that are listening to us, to those families and friends that need some guidance, and you deliver. So simple is not that simple. You have done something so beautiful. I will read some message that we get that, for example, Rihanna 10, that say, thank you, and may those who didn't survive. Also, let's remember that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing the information. Yes, Tanya, it's about controlling and manipulation. Yes, it's very important for all to be clear that it's soul, mind, and body is a very complex. It's very complex, but once you are aware, things could change, and the people around you may change as well, or you will help them to be aware and not, as Maria say, when they normalize the situation. So we are out of time right now, but I will invite all of you, the three of you, to write a no in your hand, as I will do it right now, to those survivors out there. You just feel fear, but you are saying, as our leader, spiritual leader Anita say, you are fighting a war. You are in war. You are prisoner of war, and say no. And for those families that would like to help, for those friends that would like to help, put a no in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul. Please do it. Thank you so much to all of you, and say no to domestic violence awareness.
No.
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 Thanks so much. Bye.
Blessings, peace, and love.
Thank you. The same to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.